The most recent addition to this book's series was written by the author of Artemis Fowl, Owen Colfer. The author of this book notes that his inspiration came while lying drunk in the middle of an Austrian field, clutching a more serious book of a similar title. This novel was adapted from a comical science fiction BBC radio series of the same name, which began airing in 1978. In this book, Earth is demolished by an alien race known as the Vogons to build a bypass for an intergalactic highway. The novel's protagonist, Arthur Dent, and Ford Prefect go on a journey through the universe and encounter a supercomputer which has calculated the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything to be 42. For 10 points, name this science fiction novel by Douglas Adams. And the answer is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This technique was demonstrated in the 1910s and 1920s by the Kuleshov effect, in which this technique caused an expressionless face to appear hungry, mournful, or lustful. Types of this technique include the intellectual and the rhythmic, the latter of which is exemplified by the Odessa step sequence of Battleship Potemkin by Sergei Eisenstein, a pioneer of the Soviet theory of this technique. A common use of this technique originating in American cinema sees an individual engaging in physical training through a series of short, cut sequences and overlaid with an inspirational upbeat song. For 10 points, identify this film technique used in Rocky in which short shots are edited to condense space, time, and information. And the answer is montage. This team holds the record for highest franchise winnings percentage in NBA history. During a 2009 game against the Sacramento Kings, a player from this team swatted a bat out of the air. One former player of this team was nicknamed the Admiral due to his service in the Navy. This team became the first NBA team to hire a woman onto its coaching staff after they hired Becky Hammon. This team plays in the AT&T Center and signed LaMarcus Aldridge in the 2015 offseason. For 10 points, name this Greg Popovich coached team whose big three included Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan. And the answer is the San Antonio Spurs. Near the end of this film, a guard is seen, played by Ted Knight. The car driven by the protagonist of this film was a prop borrowed from the TV show Leave It to Beaver. The Saul Bass-created opening titles of this film feature moving parallel bars over a Bernard Herrmann score before opening to a shot of Phoenix, Arizona. This film's most infamous scene contains 70 edits in 45 seconds and used chocolate syrup as blood. For 10 points, name this 1960 Alfred Hitchcock film where Marion Crane is killed in the Bates Motel during the infamous shower scene. And the answer is Psycho. This series contains a story where the sea captain journeys to his hometown to warn them about the coming of the Black Freighter. In this series, heroes are outlawed by the Keene Act. Cherenkov radiation accounts for the appearance of a man in this series who exiles himself to Mars. This series begins with the investigation into the murder of Edward Blake, the comedian. This comic ends with Rorschach being vaporized by Dr. Manhattan. For 10 points, name this graphic novel by Alan Moore whose title group included Night Owl, Silk Spectre, and Ozymandias. And the answer is Watchmen. Every verse of a song by this rapper begins with the statement, "I'm the biggest hypocrite of 2015. This rapper sampled Ahmad Lewis's We Want the Funk near the end of a song named for the protagonist of an Alex Haley novel. This rapper proclaimed, "I recognize you're looking at me for the pay cut," in a song that's become a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. This rapper's third studio album included The Blacker the Berry, King Kunta, and All Right. For 10 points, name this rapper of the albums Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly. And the answer is Kendrick Lamar. This team's 2003 to 2004 club was nicknamed the Invincibles because they won their league without losing a match. In 2013, this club smashed its previous transfer record by purchasing a midfielder from Real Madrid. This club's all-time leading goal scorer left to join Barcelona in 2007 for 3 years before he retired with the Red Bulls in 2014. That man, Thierry Henry, is now being tipped to eventually replace Arsene Wenger. For 10 points, name this English Premier League club which won the 2015 FA Cup and plays in Emirates Stadium. And the answer is Arsenal. Promotion for the cinnamon variety of these products centered on Cindy, the Devil Girl. Recently, the company that manufactures these products launched an advertising campaign known as the Hall of Curiosities, in which ridiculous artifacts and fake moments involving it are displayed, such as this candy's involvement in the design of Central Park. The packaging for these products is commonly reused for miniature first aid and survival kits. These candies are also known for the story texts on paper liners inside of the distinctive tin boxes. For 10 points, name these original celebrated Curiously Strong mints. And the answer is Altoids. In an episode of this show, one character pretends to be a pipe-smoking, tweed-wearing professor in order to retrieve a jacket that he claims attracts women. One character on this show is cast in a Woody Allen movie where his line, "These pretzels are making me thirsty," is quoted by his friends whenever they are angry. The main characters of this show frequent Monk's Cafe. A minor character in this show is a restaurant owner who is known as the Soup Nazi for his strict rules. For 10 points, name this 90s sitcom based on its eponymous lead stand-up and whose characters include Elaine, George, Kramer, and Jerry. And the answer is Seinfeld. Randy Johnson briefly played for this team in the final months of the 1998 season. Along with the Mets, this team was the first expansion team in the National League. Until the end of the 2016 season, this team's current stadium was the home of Tal's Hill in center field. A player for this team was the only player to be named an All-Star at both catcher and second base. That player is Craig Biggio. Before moving from the NL to the AL, this team was hacked by an employee of their former division rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. For 10 points, name this team with players such as Dallas Keuchel, Carlos Correa, and Jose Altuve, which is based in Texas. And the answer is the Houston Astros.